So we are Virtue Care VR. If you've ever been to a doctor's office, a dentist's office, or participated in a blood drive, you know it's not always the most fun experience. Whether you're getting a shot, you're getting your blood drawn, or you're doing some orthopedic work, this could all put you in a stressful state of mind. We at Virtue Care VR aim to change that. With our product, the TheraSpace, we would offer many virtual reality environments, such as a beach, nature, cityscape, to name a few, that could help alleviate that stress.
So our customer segment is anyone prior to a stressful event. So people going to get their blood drawn, people going to get shots, people going into dentist's office. And our total addressable market is all therapy users, blood donors, and everyone getting yearly checkups. So people getting like cavities filled and people getting their blood drawn, stuff like that. And our sizable addressable market is people of those groups in the Chicagoland area. So how our company works is we'll be purchasing headsets and selling them paired with our application to big companies like doctor's offices, orthodontist offices, and dentist office. Our application will provide many different live 3D environments depending on the person's liking, such as like beach, mountains, stuff like that. And we'll keep in touch with the offices we work with, getting feedback on how it's going, and if we need to fix anything or make anything better. And our unique value proposition is we are the only virtual reality development company built for therapy in offices.
All right, so our headset of choice, how are we going to make this happen? So for our MVP money, we ended up going with the MetaQuest 2. The MetaQuest 2, it's a good headset and all, but it's really not the best quality. And for people who are going to be wanting to see something while they're going into surgery, they're going to be doing some orthopedic work, like they're going to want something that looks good. So we chose the HTC Vive Pro 2. This headset, it doesn't have the greatest like moving capabilities, such as if you're playing game or everything, but that doesn't really matter to us. We just want something that looks good and can project a live, nice video to people who are going to be like wanting to alleviate stress. So developing our product. Our main ask for funding is because we need to develop this application. Initially, we wanted to purchase this application from a designer on Fiverr, but to get a high quality product, we only had $250 to spend with our MVP. We're going to need a lot more money to do that. We want it to be as aesthetic as possible, user friendly as possible, and it can be used by anyone and like very easy to use. So what our product would actually do, it would be an easily operated environment selection application. Basically, in simpler terms, when you put on the headset, you're going to get in front of you all your options. You're going to get a beach, nature, city, whatever you want, and you get to choose what you want during your stressful event. You can easily look at the categories, and you can choose what you want, and it's not difficult, it's user-friendly, it's easy.
We had to skip the demo because it wasn't like working properly with Mr. Hederline's computer, so I'm sorry about that.
Our MVP test, we used YouTube videos on the Oculus headset at a blood drive, and then after the individuals tested our products and gave their opinion, we asked 8 people questions and asking if they felt more relieved, and the general answer was yes. So from now on, we want to use a pulse oximeter on the people's testing to see if they actually get more relaxed and give us exact data. We'll do this over the course of the next week at the AP test to collect data. Revenue summary. Headset sale revenue, $300 profit per headset sold, selling the HTC Vive Pro 2 for $1,000, bundled with a 6-month subscription, and then a monthly subscription revenue breakdown would be monthly subscriptions at $125, a tri-yearly at $300, a bi-yearly at $550, and a 1-year subscription at $1,000.
All right, Red, so here's our forecast. We expect that we'll be gaining customers slowly, and we expect that it'll be more 1-month subscriptions than 3-month subscriptions, as a lot of people are just going to want to test it out, see how it is, before they go in, they buy a whole yearly subscription. And then, obviously, we'll be making $300 with the bundle. For every headset, they'll get 6 months, and they can just try it out, see if they like it, see if it's right for them. And then here are our finances. We're expecting a 3% and then a 5% growth. And we expect a decent amount of renewals that'll be steadily increasing, and that'll increase with our gross profit margin as well.
Our ask is $3,000, and the breakdown on that would be our HTC Vive Pro 2 for demoing for $800, our application for $2,000, and then our marketing, the cards and pamphlet, for $200. Competition. We are the only VR company that is supporting offices to help individuals, and our market share is 100%. We are the only company that is going to be directly marketing to doctor offices and large companies. At doctor offices and dentists, there are sometimes toys and even gaming consoles or magazines, and we want to create a product that can target the older audience but can also help support children as well. We want to help any individual who's stressed out before a stressful event or an appointment, surgery, anything like that.
So our business structure and exit strategy, we're offering 10.8% of our company for $3,000, and our estimated evaluation is $27,719 after our first year. Our exit strategy is being bought out by a larger virtual reality company such as Meta, or sell the rights to a large healthcare corporation.
Oh yeah. So what are we gonna do in the future? We're gonna go out. We're gonna find doctor's office, dentist's office, anyone willing to give us a try. We could contact them with our email, give our product info. We can do a live demo for them, show them what we would do. But they're gonna need to buy the headset, and they're gonna need to buy the application to actually use it for people. And then we'll use our social media to keep updated with people and our progress that we're working on. We'll have flyers and business cards, and we have the oximeter for this week to do testing on individuals before AP testing. Get some exact data.
Thanks. Any questions?
I got a question for you guys. The HTC Vive Pro 2, why did you go with, what was different between the first prototype VR headset and the one that you decided to use?
The MetaQuest 2 is the one we bought. That was only $200. And the sad thing is that although it's like a great headset, you can do a lot on it for $200. It's really just not that great visually. If you ever use a MetaQuest 2, it's a little bit pixelated. It doesn't look like it's full virtual reality. We want something that actually is like a lot higher quality, looks like you're actually there, doesn't just look like a video.
What kind of research, what have you guys done on the app as far as like how you would get the content, how you'd create the app? Well, what does an app behind the VR headset entail?
All right, so they actually do have a lot of videos already on MetaQuest headsets and stuff like that. There's also videos on YouTube, and there's also like other videos that you can purchase as well. And we would license out these videos. We take these videos. If we need to buy them, we buy them. If we can just take them, we'll take them. And we'll put this into an easy to use thing. That's the most important thing. Having it easy to use, be user friendly, and the application would make it so that anyone could use it.
Is that something you upload into the glasses? It comes from the cloud? How does the content that you get, whether you buy it, shoot it, steal it?
I think that it would be downloaded onto like the headset, and then from the headset, it's already in there. And with our application, it would let it easily select
That's how it
all
works
the
in
downloaded
downloads,
content.
okay.
Yeah.
I've got a question about the MVP. Can you talk a little bit about, you said you did it at a blood draw, is that correct? Can you talk a little bit more about where you did it? How did you get in front of the organizers to do that? Because that's pretty cool to get that permission and to do it. So I'd love to know more about that a little.
So unfortunately, we did get a lot of permission to do it. We kind of just like went there during our lunch period.
Here.
And our basically we had a lot of people, and really no one stopped us. So we just went up to some people and said like, anyone want to put on a headset, try this out? And a lot of people were like, yeah, we want to test it out. We just asked them a few questions after, see how they felt.
Have you ever heard the saying in business, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission?
Yeah.
There you go.
And what was the feedback? Did you do it before the blood drive or during the blood drive? Because that's a pretty good trial for what you're trying to do.
So we ended up doing it before because obviously we would have to talk to the organizer and stuff. If we were going to put it on while they're getting their blood drawn, we didn't have the the permission to do that. But so we just ended up giving it before, and a lot of people just said like it was a good distraction. It was like I'm putting on a VR headset before I'm getting my blood drawn. It's like someone else.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Rejuvenate is a cream-based anti-aging solution that includes SPF and also the properties of retinol. So it still has those anti-aging effects while still protects your skin in the UV rays and allows you to spend time outside and enjoying your time outside without having to worry about the negative effects on your skin. It's very cost-friendly and very easy to incorporate into your day-to-day routine, and it also is very accessible. So within this, we also wanted to target it towards men because we discovered that there is a huge lack of representation for men in the skincare industry, so it would really set us apart from other products. Additionally, in our interviews that we conducted, we found that men care equally about their skin as women do, so we wanted to find a way to incorporate a product for both men and women.
Okay. Go back. You're okay. Going further into detail of what our product does, so retinol builds your skincare and it builds collagen in your skin, so allowing wrinkles to go away. And building it with a SPF will allow your skin to fight against the UV rays, and it kind of contrasts together, so it allows you to be youthful and safe to UVs. So this is our TAM SAM, which is our addressable markets. So overall, there's 333 million people in the United States who care about their skin, and we have the estimated buyers to around 6 million. Our SAM addressable market, about 9 million people we have a total number of possible buyers, and going further into that, we have about 189,000 estimated number of buyers. So our competition is all retinol distributors and all skincare products and sunscreen. Again, our retinol is our competition, anybody who serves retinol and Botox procedures, as Olivia went into. What sets us apart from them is we're just a cream-based product, and that will allow us to continue further into this skincare industry. Further into that, we have been consulting with local shops like Bazzi. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but it's a local shop, and local med spas all around.
Okay, when creating our product, we were faced with a really big question of how our product was truly going to work under the sun. So we decided to use this as a test. So Addison took our product with her to Mexico over spring break, and we made 2 tests. We made one with more retinol, one with more sunscreen, and we were able to truly test this product under the UV rays. We had very positive results because we had no skin reaction, and we were able to see how the effects worked. Another test that we conducted was our MVP test. Our MVP test is our minimum value product test, and this was a live poll that we shared on our Instagram. We stated the question, would you be interested in trying our product? And we were able to see the live results from our followers. We had very positive results because we had 83% saying yes and only 17% saying no. How this affected us, where we were able to see our segments of revenue streams, they increased because we had more interactions on our website. And then we were also affected the key metrics part of our BMC, and this was our customer relationships because we were allowed to truly talk with our customers and see what they wanted from us. Moving on to the cost, so we broke down our cost per 1 unit to be $8.07, and this is broken down between our Hawaiian Tropic sunscreen, the Neutrogena retinol, our containers, and our boxes. So this is broken up between, we bought a Hawaiian Tropic tube of sunscreen, which is 8 ounces, and this was able to split up between multiple containers. So for 1 unit, this would only be 77 cents. And then our Neutrogena retinol is the same way, but it would be $4 for that. And then our container and our boxes we bought in bulk, and then we were able to divide that out and find that our containers cost $1.66, and then our boxes were $1.64. Moving to our SG&A cost, our total cost was $6,300, and this is broken up between our administrative and our marketing costs. And so the administrative consists of our business owner policy, which is $684, and then our liability insurance, which is $5,292. Moving to our marketing costs, this would be for things like social media, so marketing our product to people. So this would be through like Instagram and Facebook. And we did our research and found that the cost of this is per impressions. So the cost per 1,000 impressions is $4 to $10.
So now getting into the actual pricing. So for one bottle of sunscreen, it is $10.49, which is 71.5% of one singular one of our products. And then for one container of retinol, it is $20.19, which is 28.5% of one of our actual containers. And then for a pack of 25 containers, it is $41.56. And then for a pack of 25 boxes, it is $4.50, making our total $8.07 for us to produce one actual container. In the future, if we get funding, we would like to purchase all of these items in bulk just to make it more cost efficient for us. For the funding use, so we'd be asking for $5,000. $2,000 of this would go to making our actual product, so like I previously mentioned, around $250, and then another $2,000 would go towards our marketing. We realize that it is really hard to become an established skincare company, so we think marketing is one of the most important things. Like they previously touched on, we have a separate containers for both men and women, and the containers are really specific to men and women, and that is a very important part for those markets to be able to buy our product. So we would want to be able to upgrade our containers to make sure that they're the best possible to make our product established. And then we would also want to be able to use marketing for Instagram and Facebook ads, because in our generation, those social media platforms are one of the most useful places that people buy products. And so if we could get those ads, then it would allow us to have a bigger customer segment. And those really range depending on the amount of impressions. So the more engagement we have, the higher the price up. And then we also eventually want to make a website, because to become an established company, people would be searching us up online. And once we have a website, then people would be able to actually buy stuff from our website, which would really open up our customer segments. And so then we'd also use 1,000 of it for the startup cost. Like Lexi mentioned, there's like insurance, and eventually we want to be able to pay employees. And I know $1,000 isn't going to cover that all, but it will help decrease the cost of that. And so then we're offering 20% of our company to the investors, which means that they would be getting around $1,600. And I know that is not the $5,000 that we are asking for, but in our 3-year financial model, we predict that we would easily make that money back within 3 years. And so it would take us around 25,000 units for you guys to make a profit off the 5,000. But again, we predict to be making that. Thank you.
When you talk to the stores that sell skincare products, were they hesitant about selling just a new skincare product? Did you need to get some kind of a certification? Do you have to get any kind of approvals, like FDA approvals for this, or do you not need to because you're using stuff that's
We
already
haven't
out there?
gotten that far into consulting, but with the local shop like Bazzi, they said they'd be open to like selling our product there, but as long as that meets the requirements of like FDA approval and stuff like that, somebody who would approve it.
How much did you tinker with the formula during the course of the year?
So when we were testing our product, we created like 2 different kinds of our product, one with more retinol, one with more sunscreen. So those were our 2 kind of baseline of the difference ones. And then we went from there and made our final product.
Yeah, we ended up choosing the one with more sunscreen because if you saw our pricing, the retinol is a lot more expensive than sunscreen. So they really had the same effects, obviously maybe like long term, but if it's a difference of a few drops and like we could save dollars from that, then we went with the one with more sunscreen so we could have actually more product for the people and it would last longer, being like more cost friendly.
And could you talk a little bit about the rationale for the final pricing? It looks like there was some adjustment from the last time, which is
Yeah,
good.
so-
And how does this position with other competitors in the space from a
So
price perspective?
skincare market really ranges from like, it could be like $300 to like, I don't know, $20. And one of the investors, like last time they said that if there's a skincare product that is $15 and there's one that's like $90, then they may be more rational to buy the 90 because they think that it may work more. So we originally had it priced at $20, but then we realized that we think we should up it just a little bit more because I think $35 for the amount that we're getting and the product in the skincare industry is pretty like median, and it's a little less than like some of the competitors, like with both of these products combined. And starting off as a new company, we want to have at least a little bit less than like some other competitors that are already established.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello. All right. All right. My name's Vince. name's Samari.
I'm Frankie.
And we're Bev Caddy. With summer right around the corner, events provide valuable opportunities for social interactions. A well-rounded beverage selection is essential for an enjoyable gathering. While coolers serve as efficient tools for maintaining beverage temperature, existing models often present usability challenges. When opening a traditional cooler, it becomes an inconvenient task to locate the drink within the icy cold water. This usually results in wet, cold hands with a lack of suitable drying options. Our solution to this problem is a new and innovative cooler design. Our product is a vertical drink drawer that can be effortlessly accessed simply by pulling up a handle, ensuring a dry and convenient retrieval process.
So what exactly is the problem? So the problem is in traditional coolers. Coolers are very useful tools that we're all going to be using in these upcoming warm months, but they all share some common flaws. So one being, they're very hard to navigate. They're going to be covered in ice, stacked on top of each other, and it's hard to find the drinks that you like. They're also very hard to organize because your drinks are going to sink to the bottom of the cooler when the ice starts to melt. You're going to have to reach in, fish out the drinks you're looking for. Now you're going to have cold, wet hands. There's also a lot of wasted space that we believe can be put to better use. So our solution, when we started our solution interviews, we built a rendering of this new cooler design. And everybody thought it was really cool. But when we further investigated, we realized that the funds to produce a cooler would be pretty high. And so we pivoted our focus to just solving our problem and creating a product that people can buy and implement into their existing coolers without having to buy an entirely new one. So this product is what you'll do with it is you'll put it in your cooler, just simply pour the ice around it, and you can put your drinks inside of it. It's made of an aluminum shell. It's got a handle. Your drinks slide right out. It's going to keep them cold and dry.
For problem investigation, we, after doing research and interviewing people, we found that 12.5% of people said no, they just deal with it or find any other way to problem solve. And it's mainly teens and young adults. And 80.5% said yes because, well, they actually like the product and it's because it frustrates them that they cannot get their desired drinks in a more efficient way. For a customer segment, we found that in general, it's parents and adults from ages 30 to 50, and it's mainly used in barbecues, parties, traveling, sports, tailgates, lake homes, and vacations. Our market size. The global cooler market size was valued at approximately $894 million in 2022, and it's expected to rise at a rate of 3.5% from 2023 to 2030 as a result of an increasing popularity in camping, traveling, sports, and road trips.
All right, so for our competitors, one of our competitors is a product like the Joey. What it does is it adds segregated compartments to your cooler. This product can be purchased online, except it can only fit so many beverages, and we believe it doesn't have as many benefits as our product. So why we're better? Our product is strictly beverage dedicated, and our goal is to increase your cooler capacity. So for example, a standard 40-quart cooler, like some of you probably own, can hold up to 48 cans, and it uses up to 14 pounds of ice. By the use of our product, we can up your capacity to 60 cans and probably use less ice. We believe it'll also have higher effectiveness because of the material that we're using. It's made of strictly aluminum, which is one of the best materials for transferring temperature. It's also portable. So for example, if you're at your lake home and you don't want to bring your cooler down to your boat, you can just reach in, grab one of the sleeves, and take that with you down to your boat instead of carrying it down all those stairs. So where we're headed. So our overall goal is to optimize the cooler experience. So we want to build a line of cooler organization products. Basically water-sealed aluminum beverage / food drawers. They're going to keep your foods and drinks dry. You're also going to have an organized cooler selection. There's going to be much less wasted space in your cooler. And the slots are going to stay secure. Nothing is going to tip over. Everything inside is going to stay contained and fresh.
Okay, so for one of the bigger steps that we plan on taking is licensing. So we're gonna, through licensing, when we get that done, we're gonna be able to get our product manufactured and let other products sell it. And obviously we're gonna get a large percent of that, or we're going to implement our technology into their existing products, also getting a large percent of that. So what we're asking for today is 2% and 2% in equity of our company for $1,000. And what we put that money towards is material, and as you can see, we're gonna put about $203 into material. And then we are also gonna put a lot into job hiring, so making sure that we get the right people that specialize in stuff like manufacturing, helping us with logo branding, and also product protection, as in like maybe a patent and whatnot. Thank you.
I have a question. In one of the slides, you had a photo of potentially a prototype. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yes, we actually brought one with us today.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect,
that
thanks.
One, the one.
If you guys want, you guys can just check it out and then pass it down.
Did you do temperature testing?
So that we really haven't done too much with. That's going to be more kind of in our investigating when we do our MVP. That's just kind of a prototype for right now. It's held up with some aluminum tape. We think that would probably affect it a little bit. So no, we haven't done that too much to answer your question.
It seemed like a large portion of the cost was dedicated to that aluminum. Are there alternatives that are cheaper? And then also, what's the end user pricing for this? How much would this cost?
You're saying materials to produce that?
Yes.
So we figured out that I'd say if we're not really buying in bulk, like if we got material from like Home Depot, it's like $11 for the material. All you need is 18 by 18 inches to produce like something that size.
And how much does it cost to the actual purchaser?
If we were to sell it in store, we think we'd probably sell it for like $30. Would be the price we're aiming for if we get manufacturing costs down and material costs down.
Is that $30 for how many of those?
$30 for one, or possibly in a packet of 3.
Okay, so you have plans to package it in different sets,
Yes,
like a
yeah.
6-pack, 12-pack. Okay, and then I really do like your expansion plans. How you have that slide that I think might be new about expanding it out to different sizes for bottles, cans, food. This one here, yeah. So looks good.
I had a question on the opening slide. Did it say compostable at the beginning, or did I misread? Oh, compatible. Thank you. Never mind. Yep. Barely in my glasses.
Also another thing, another slide kind of got cut out. We plan on like advertising through like very inexpensive social media, like common social medias like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. And then we also plan on pushing our product out to consumer goods shows to like help gain trust and potentially find customers and possibly a partnership.
How's the competitor Joey, whatever that one there? How do they sell it? Do they sell it in coolers, or do they sell it as separate pieces to put in coolers, like as a standard size? Because theirs looks pretty like shaped to the cooler.
Yeah, they sell it on Amazon. I don't think it's dedicated to like a specific cooler brand, like a Yeti or anything. I know they do sell different sizes, so I think it's just off of dimensions. It just sits like kind of on the rim of the cooler.
Good.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Good job.
Hello, we are Saturn Workspace, and our company focuses on expanding productivity within vehicles.
Today we're going to be showing you what our product, the Travel Tray, is all about.
We have found that people need to efficiently achieve basic tasks like eating and doing work out of their vehicles. This is why we created the Travel Tray.
The Travel Tray is currently designed for people on the go, specifically out of standard work vans.
Saturn Workspace would like to to target people who are constantly doing work like contractors and construction workers to maximize work productivity at the job sites.
We plan on marketing the travel tray as a personal, sturdy, and portable workspace that is appropriate to get basic tasks done while on the go.
Working in the car has never been easier.
Hello, we're Saturn Workspace. I'm Jackson. This is Brennan, Gavin, and Madison. Today we're going to be showing you about the travel tray.
So our product that we found, or our problem, was that people on the go don't have adequate workspace in their vans. We found that there was over 15 million work vans currently being used in the U.S., and 380,000 are being sold every year, so our market is very big. Our customers are workers on the go and anyone who needs an adequate workspace while being driver-focused.
During our problem interviews, we interviewed the demographics of parents with small children as well as workers like designers and contractors. Questions we asked parents were things like if it's a stressful environment to be in the car with kids for long periods of time, and we asked workers questions like how often they need to get work done in their car and if they feel like they have enough space to do work in their car. Our takeaways from these interviews were to focus on the customer segment of workers because they were more willing to pay for a solution than parents were, as well as to focus on the driver's seat because workers are often in vehicles alone.
We would like to solve this problem by creating a personal workspace that is cut out perfectly to the dimensions of a standardized work van. We do this so that way construction workers, contractors, and designers have a proper workspace that fits their needs in the work vans.
Our unique value proposition states that working in the car has never been easier. We've created a multi-use desk that is portable, sturdy, and extremely easy to use. This is our prototype of the travel tray. It's a multi-use desk that when the driver is driving, they can fold the desk down behind them because there's all that space in between the seats in a work van. And then when they're stopped and they need time to get work done, they can flip it up and then flip the desk down so they have a place to work.
Our customer segments include people working on the go, like contractors, designers, and construction workers, because they're moving from job site to job site throughout the day and they don't have one specific office to get all the work done that they need to do. For our market, our total addressable market is 290.8 million cars currently being used in America. Our serviceable addressable market is 15.1 million work vans being used in America. And there's 380,000 new work vans being sold each year, so it's a growing market.
So for our competitions, we don't have any direct competition anymore, as now we're building a product that's never been seen before. But we still have companies that make a semi-similar product to ours, so it's still important that we take them into account. These companies include iBecky, CPR OSP, and AutoExec. iBecky and CPR OSP have mediocre products that are affordable, but their products are cheap and flimsy, and customers aren't too happy with them. Their products also attach onto the steering wheel, so it's very inconvenient to constantly put on the steering wheel, detach, and store in the vehicle. AutoExec has a fairly decent product all around, but with a price tag of over $300, customer consumption is at an all-time low. And the main flaw with all three of these companies is that when they were marketing their product, they only targeted cars, which in retrospect, it can still work in vans. But since they didn't target it as such, they lost that range of customers that we plan on now marketing our product towards.
So how do we solve this problem? As I was saying before, we created a personal workspace that is perfectly cut to the dimensions of a work van. We did this so that way contractors, construction workers, and anybody who is doing work can have their proper space to work in their car.
This is our prototype, the travel tray. So on the base, we have a tent pole. It consists of two 360-degree hinges and PVC. It's a rough prototype. And there's also a plastic desktop here. So this is in the position down. So when the driver's parked, they can sit here. It's a very slim desk, so that way it can fit between the driver or the steering wheel and the driver, and that way they can get quick work done. You know, whenever they need it, they can flip it up. And then when they're not using it and when they're driving, the top of the desk flips up, and then the bottom flips down. So it's out of sight, out of mind, and it sits right in this area where there's no space, where there's unlimited space in work vans. And then again, it can flip up and back into place very easily. So for our MVP test, we had 2 main stages. The first where we designed and built our prototype, and the second where we tested and reviewed it. During the building stage, we had to come up with a few designs, and we went and measured our prototype out. But eventually we were able to create the right design that we needed for the prototype in a work van, and we successfully built it so that it fit the dimensions needed. The second, we tested and reviewed it, so we brought it into an actual work van, and we tested how it fit there, how it worked, what we liked, what we didn't like, and we decided that ultimately we did create a nice prototype, but there would be a few tweaks that we would need to make along the way.
As Jackson was saying, we made some changes based on our MVP test. These are 3 main changes that we did. The failed components was anything that we did not like about our original MVP test. So we changed the design by making instead of large and wide desk, we changed it to a skinnier and longer desk to meet our customers' needs. So that way it can fit in the work van and properly fit their design. To do this, we had material returns. We returned the original desktop and any things we did not like, such as hinges that were not 360 like we have now, and the original plywood that sat at the bottom to bolt into the car. So in exchange for $6,915, we are proposing a 7% ownership of our company with a pre-money valuation of $98,888.
This investment will be allocated toward 4 major components, the first being product inventory and prototypes in the future, which we will put $2,000 toward. $1,000 will be put toward advertising. $2,358 will be put toward our startup costs. This consists of our liquidity cushion, patents, and trademark. And then $1,557 will be put toward our liability insurances.
We plan on creating an exit strategy for our investors by selling the company at the end of 3 years through a strategic buyer or a financial buyer. We will also request a percentage of royalty on each unit when we sell the company in order to help make passive income for however many years the company remains running for.
Ideally, however, we'd like to sell the company to someone in the same industry as us so it can continue working the same way. Thank you.
I'll go with a question. You described the COGS as $99 in terms of the cost of material. Yep. What do you anticipate market and retail pricing to be?
So all the projections of our finances were based on it being $200. So a little bit less than Auto Exec, I believe it is, which really is like the monster in this industry. But I mean, it's a different industry, so we think 200 would be fair.
And then in your MVP testing, did you guys survey for pricing and price sensitivity at all?
Yeah, we came actually, I think we asked for more, around $300. We asked people, and they thought that would be, if anything, a little too pricey. But they thought it was around the right price, so lowering it would still be well.
Thank you.
Looking at the startup costs, you have the inventory, the patents and trademark. All that implies that there's kind of a final design. And so do you anticipate any of that money being spent for additional prototyping? Because even through the last couple of iterations, there's been improvement. And how many more iterations do you think you'll need?
Yeah, so we would actually like to change that cost because of the addition that we were thinking of clamping it to the actual car itself. So that would alter the cost of our product. We don't know exactly how much it would be, but we think that's the best fit for our prototype.
But the $2,000 of the inventory is for prototypes in the future.
So prototypes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And does the current iteration, is that bolted to the center of the chassis of the car?
That's what it's meant to be right now. But yeah, we were told that it obviously not very customer friendly, liability insurances, a lot of things that come into that. So making it clamp on would be a lot easier for us.
So with bolting it to the work van's ground, it would obviously not be user friendly, but if we found a way to clamp it to a chair, that would be able to expand our market size to maybe cars in the future to fit any car's needs.
Good. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so as high school students, we typically have a reoccurring issue of having super last minute questions late at night. This could be because after school we're busy with sports or family stuff or whatever it may be, like random stuff. But we at last minute we have a ton of questions on homework assignments for tests the next day, and we this could be because our teachers aren't answering their emails because they're sleeping, or our friends have never taken the classes and are unsure how to help us. So we have created Cram You Help Me, which is a peer tutoring website. And we are always available. We're super efficient and easy. You can just look us up with cramyouhelpme.us. And we have two different options. One is where you can set just 1 minute. You have one question, like a super quick, something you just need help with. And we have peer tutors here from York to help answer your questions. Our other option is we have 30-minute sessions where you can get on and do either a Zoom call, Google Meet, with someone willing to help you. Also, the great thing about us is our tutors are able to teach the same methods and ways that York teachers teach here at school or any high school, whether that be another school in the district. And this way you are getting taught the same ways your teachers are teaching you, so it's not confusing, especially in math. That can be an issue if you're learning different ways to solve problems.
So we will be marketing this to high schools and high school students, as high schools will be the one purchasing this website, and high schoolers will need to utilize this. And we will not be selling to districts. We'll be focusing on high schools because districts like middle schools, elementary schools, they will not need to utilize this, and we feel that high school students have much more of a need for this than younger kids.
So Cram You Help Me does not actually have any direct competitors. However, there are obviously still ways for students to get immediate answers such as Google or ChatGPT, but this is not always the most effective way for students to learn because they don't always provide detailed explanations. Most students, including myself, can't just look at an answer and automatically know how they got from point A to point B. Most students need to see a step-by-step process of how they got to that answer in order to actually learn the material. So by just seeing an answer when it comes to the actual test or trying to complete a worksheet, you won't actually know how to get to that answer because you never completely learned it. If they do provide you with an explanation, it's not always going to be related to your school's curriculum. What this means is that most teachers have a specific way of teaching. For example, in my physics class, my teacher teaches using the methods and the procedures that she prefers. So if I were to look something up on Google, it will most likely differ from what I'm taught in that class. Because of these reasons, Cram You Help Me only has indirect competitors. However, there are still ways for students to look up answers, so that's why they're considered competitors.
Okay, so just to reiterate the same idea I was talking about earlier, it's really important that we have our tutors able to teach the same way as our teachers here at high school, because I've personally dealt with issues where in specific math classes or whatever class it may be, the tutors that I'm getting taught by versus my high school teachers are teaching me different ways to do things, and it can be really confusing when it comes down to test time and you don't know which method, or if you get confused with whichever way, like how to solve a problem. Another thing is we do have an incentive for our tutors. They are receiving NHS hours, which is the same method we have here in our York building, our peer tutoring system. The students receive NHS hours. This is also great to put on your resume just because it helps with college applications and just looks good overall.
Okay, so before I discuss the results and what we learned from our minimum viable product test or our smoke test, I first want to introduce what we actually did for this test. So essentially, we created our website and designed and formatted it to look exactly like we want our end result to be, except for the fact that it was not functioning. We did this because we wanted to attach a link and post a picture on our Instagram page and just see how many people would view it and interact with our website. Because we didn't have any previous posts, we didn't know how many people would see it, so we just came up with a goal of 100 accounts it would reach, and 25 to 50% of those people would actually click the link and interact with our website. So as you can see, we got 3 times the amount of accounts to actually see it, and something interesting we noticed was that almost 80% of those interactions were by people who didn't follow us. That was kind of reassuring to see because it was reaching other feeds and getting out there, and it wasn't just people who follow us. We also had 33% of people who clicked on the link that viewed our website. 33% of those people clicked it and interacted with it. So what we learned from this was, first of all, we wanted to hire someone to professionally design the website because we noticed it was just kind of boring, and we want it to be a little bit more visually appealing and also easier for students to navigate. It was also a confirmation that people actually want to take time out of their day to scroll through our website, learn a little bit more about it, and see if it would be something they're interested in.
Okay, so our goal for our first year is to sell to 1 medium school, and then for our second year it's to sell to 1 medium school and 1 small school, and then our third year would be 1 big school, 1 medium school, and 1 small school. And so that would mean our first year, our total profit would be $12,000 or roughly around there, and then our second year it would be about $14,000, and then our third year it would be around $17,000.
So currently we have two different marketing strategies. The first one would be any social media platform. We currently have Instagram, and this is just to market more towards our users, which are the actual high school students. But the more important one is the actual sales pitch, because this is going to be marketed towards our buyers, which are the schools. Our plan is to sell to at least one school in the first year. And to start, we want to meet with school coordinators just to kind of introduce our idea, tell them our story, and hopefully let them know that the fact that we are all current high school students and we all have like firsthand knowledge of this problem, because it's, like Bracy said, a very reoccurring problem. So one thing that we actually need to figure out still is how we're going to integrate schools who don't have a current peer tutoring system. So that might be something we discuss during that sales pitch. And then also we need to negotiate the price. Right now we have it set at around $3 to $5 per student, but it's going to differ. If we have a smaller school, it might be a higher amount of money per student. If a larger school, it might be a lower amount of money per student.
Okay, for our target market, for our total addressable market, we are marketing to about 36,000 high schools, which is the amount in the United States. And then for our serviceable addressable market, that would be about to the 1,000 high schools in Illinois. And then for our serviceable attainable market, that's to about the 700 public high schools in Illinois. And we want to market to the public high schools in Illinois because it would probably be easiest for us to get their attention, because they have more students, and that would mean more students who would need help and more tutors that would be available to help them out. And so that's why we want the public high schools in general.
So we are seeking an investment of $1,950 for the cost that Mia just described, for a 10.8% stake in our company.
So for our exit strategy, we're hoping to be valued at about $30,000 after 3 years, and then our goal will be to sell to school platforms, whether that be Schoology, Google Classroom, etc. This will be on their site, so this can be linked, and it'll be an easy way for them to access our website.
So in the future, some things we want to look at is addressing schools that don't already have a peer tutoring system set up. Like for York, we're actually super fortunate because we have this peer tutoring system, but other schools aren't as lucky and don't have these resources. So our goal in the future would be to have peer tutors from schools like York be able to actually answer questions from other schools that don't have this system. And then in the future, we'd also like to look into hiring a moderator just to monitor chats and make sure everything's staying appropriate and on task. Any questions?
Can you talk us through the experience? So I book an appointment because I need help with math. What happens next? Obviously, part of the benefit of tutoring normally, the problem you're trying to solve is that you have to go do it in person, you have to sit down. But then when you're together, you have the opportunity to scratch it out and learn. How do you plan to create that similar experience virtually?
Yeah, so one of the biggest issues with peer tutoring in person, which we've talked to multiple tutors and they've all kind of agreed on the same thing, is it's hard to actually set up that time to meet. So even though in person it might be better because you can actually like talk with them and get that same experience. On Zoom, you have similar experiences, or any other website we'd like that have that, because you can use like whiteboards to write your work and things like that, which would be able to help out to kind of simulate that same experience.
Yeah, how does this address the problem of the tutors not being available like late at night? You know, they'll have some incentive to participate because they get the NHS credit, but you need them to be available at odd hours. So how does this address that problem?
Yeah, so some students in general, especially if they're also studying for tests, they might also be awake and would be able to answer questions. However, if they're not, they'd still be able to in the morning, because let's say you know someone has a test the next day. In the morning, you could wake up and answer those questions from the night before. So even though it's not right like at that exact time, they'd still be able to answer those questions before your test the next day.
During the earlier pitches, one of the suggestions was potentially to try this with hosting like an open study session for an upcoming exam, like using Google Meet or something like that. How far did you guys take your MVP? You talked about the Instagram poll monitoring clicks, which is great. Did you actually end up having any students participate to earn NHS time, or was that still conceptual?
Well, currently we're not allowed to actually give out those service hours, so it was definitely just a mock thing, but we have like gathered large groups to, I guess it's more like study groups rather than online. We just kept it in person, but we did do large groups to just kind of test out how that would be if people had questions, and it was for different like subjects too. It wasn't just one, so it's just kind of, I guess, the mock thing.
And for the peer tutoring system at York, you actually already do get NHS hours, so it would just be the same thing. They'd still definitely be able to get the hours from that.
Would these peer tutors have specific hours that they're on call to take any questions?
Yeah, we were thinking that they'd be able to have that where you could have a time range for when you'd be able to answer the questions. But also, like, let's say you have a physics test the next day and you'd be studying. If you're a tutor, you'd probably know that some kids are going to have some questions. So they kind of like know that in the back of their minds and be like ready to answer those questions if needed.
But would they have any accountability being a volunteer of your organization that they have to be on call at a certain time frame so you know you have coverage?
Yeah, if they like set their time, they're available from 8 to 9, like they should be able to answer those questions from those times.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Again, a wonderful night, and congratulations to all the winners that are being awarded funding. We'd like to award $1,000 to Rejuvenate.
We would like to present $1,000 to BevCaddy.
Without further ado, we have a $3,000 check to a team who did a fantastic job up here. Really impressed me, and I think we are going to give a big round of applause to Saturn. And a large check to support their work next year. There you are. Awesome job.